turned it over. Here we go. We're down to 6, down to 5, down to 4. McGrady at the buzzer. Yes! With 1.7, there's no timeout. No timeout. Here it comes up left. A runner is up. No good. The Rockets win it.
Trying to turn baseline.
I tell you, Olajuwon has David Robinson just bamboozled.
I have one thing to say to those non-believers. Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Welcome into episode 2 of the New Ages Weekly Podcast. I'm Chuck, he's Gray, and today we're going to start off talking about the Rockets' 2-1 start. So what did you think about their first game against the Pistons?
The first game against the Pistons I thought was very encouraging. I liked the play of Lin and Harden. Obviously, Harden played out of his mind. He had the best start for any team, I think, in the history, or at least second behind Jordan. So yeah, that was very encouraging. I think all Houston fans are now bought into Beard sanity. So yeah, I think Harden played well. I think the team played well. Good, at least good enough to win the game. But yeah, there were some breakdowns that we needed to focus on. But overall, I mean, I'm happy with how they played.
Right. Harden had a great game. You mentioned the breakdowns on the fast break. That night the team was horrible. And really, that's what we've seen from this team so far this season, is defensively on the fast break, they just don't know how to defend it.
Yeah, there's a lot of defensive errors in that game. Mix-ups, stuff like that. I mean, sometimes players just look kind of dumbfounded with there's a lot of wide open jump shots, just a lot of miscues in that game. But I mean, I'm sure that'll get fixed as the season goes on. But yeah, Lin and Harden, I think, controlled the game pretty well and looked to be a real solid backcourt.
Yeah. In the second game, they won at Atlanta 109-102. Harden had 45 points on only 19 shots. That was a great game from Harden.
Yeah, that was his best game of his life. I think that's safe to say. The
Yeah.
most points he's ever scored in a game. He did everything right that game. And also, I think people overlook. I mean, I don't think they overlook, but I mean, some people focus too much on Harden. I think Lin played exceptional that game too. I mean, he had like 3 turnovers that game, which I mean, coming from Lin, or at least old Lin, I mean, turn over the ball like
That's
a machine.
good.
So yeah, I'm happy. I mean, if he turns the ball over 3 times a game, I'm fine. But yeah, Lin played really well that game, scoring. He almost had a triple-double. So yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the play of the Rockets. Asik, no points, 0 for 6 or 0 for 7 field goals, but had 19 boards. I'll take that every game.
Yeah.
With Asik. And so yeah, I mean, it was, everybody did their jobs. Everybody did what they're supposed to do. So yeah, I think it was just a good, solid overall game for the Rockets.
Right, and Harden obviously had an amazing game, and somewhat quietly, Lin was 3 assists away from a triple-double, which is kind of an amazing feat, considering all the hype that surrounds Jeremy Lin, that he can do that so quietly. But I guess it's kind of a good thing that Harden is going to take a lot of the spotlight away from Lin, and that really allows him to play much more carefree. Not a lot of stress on him to live up to the Lin sanity hype.
Yeah, he played his game. Nobody else has didn't live up to anybody's expectations but himself. So yeah, I mean, Lin just needs to play within his limits and he'll be fine.
Right, and that's one of the really unexpected benefits of the Harden trade, is how much pressure it takes off of Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
In the third game, the home opener against Portland, it went to overtime. The Rockets couldn't pull it out in the end, and the team looked a little tired. This was on the second night of a back-to-back, and towards the end of the game, you could just tell that they were running on empty.
Yeah, Lin and Harden did show some good things in that game. I mean, Lin had several and ones, great drives to the basket, drew contact, and made the shot. But the team looked a little lethargic at the end. Which is expected with the young team. That did have a young team written all over it. I mean, really, there was no one to rely on off the bench. I mean, the one standout was Marcus Morris, who did look sharp in that game, who did a lot of good things, pretty much all around. I mean, he rebounded, he scored, he shot the three-pointer well. He had a couple dunks. So, yeah, I mean, I think Marcus Morris was the one bright spot off the bench.
Yeah, and you mentioned Marcus Morris. So far in these 2 games where he's come off the bench, and then the first game he actually started, he's looked really, really well. He looked like he has a spot on this team, which after last season, a lot of Rockets fans were questioning if he should even be in the NBA. And I think we really kind of jumped to conclusions on him after last season. I mean, he played very few NBA minutes. He was learning a new position. But so far this year, he's looked really impressive.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the players that I'm looking forward to seeing throughout the year because, I think he can help the team.
Yeah. And we kind of mentioned how there was no one really to rely on down the stretch and how the team struggled. James Harden in that night, he did shoot 33%, but you look at his stat line, he had 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. If that's an off night for James Harden, it's going to be one amazing year for him.
Yeah, James, I mean, I don't think it's all about the stats. You don't want to always, focus on the stats too much, but, 22, 24 points, whatever he had, shooting 33%. 33% really isn't particularly good, at least for James Harden's standards. But, yeah, I think, if he continues this throughout the year, I think, he'll be fine.
Yeah, and that 33% easily could have been better. He had, I think, 5 layups that literally went in and came back out. I mean, he had some very narrowly missed shots in that game.
And he needs help, though. I mean, that's the thing. The Rockets
Definitely
don't really have anybody else who he can, rely on. I mean, Lin, he can create his own shot, drive to the basket, do some good things with that. But, I mean, there's really no one else. So, I mean, the burden really is all on James Harden's back. So, he's just getting used to it. I mean, this is his third game as, the guy, the man. So, we'll see what he does the rest of the year.
Right, and on the topic, when Lin and Harden are both on the bench, there really is no one to rely on that can either create shots for others or create their own shots. And that'll kind of transition into our next topic of how not any of the rookies have played so far.
Yeah, that's interesting. The way Terrence Jones played during the preseason, he played very well. And, I mean, I at least would have thought he got some considerable minutes coming into this year. But no, not one rookie has played 1 minute this year, which is surprising to both of us, and I think many other Rockets fans. So yeah, I mean, Terrence Jones I think can bring some good things to this team, especially with his length, his athleticism. So I don't know. I guess there's some motive to Mikhail's madness, but honestly, I don't see any reason why not putting him in.
And if you look at the Rockets bench and how there is no one that can create their own shot, it really makes it even more perplexing because you look at some of the skill sets that these rookies have. Royce White is known for his amazing transition offense, being able to set up both himself and his teammates in the transition. Scott Machado is known for his ridiculously accurate passing. He was the assist leader in the NCAA last year. He's known for being able to create shots for his teammates. Donatas Motiejunas is known for his low post skills. He's known as a low post scorer. And then Terrence Jones, just athletically, we saw in the preseason, this guy can get a shot anywhere on the court. I mean, and he can hit them too. So that you look at their skill sets, and it makes it even almost more confusing as to why none of them have logged a minute yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe after this 3 or 4 day break, the Rockets have. Maybe they will see a few minutes. At least Terrence Jones will. I'm not sure about the others, but I have a feeling that they will see a little bit of minutes.
Yeah, and the Rockets, their next game is next Wednesday, so they do have a 4-day break here where they'll get some practice time in, and maybe the rookies will be able to impress a little bit in practice and get a few actual game minutes. That next game is on a Wednesday. It's against the Nuggets, a team who a lot of people thought would maybe be somewhere around the 4th seed in the West. What do you think about that game?
It's an interesting game. Interested to see how Parsons will match up with Iguodala. This is the most explosive matchup Parsons has seen this whole year, as far as the three is concerned. So, yeah, that'd be interesting. And also how Lin handles a quick Ty Lawson. Again, Lin has not seen a point guard like Ty Lawson this year, so let's see how he handles that. But yeah, this will be the Rockets' toughest matchup thus far. So we'll see how they handle it at home. So hopefully they'll win. Yeah,
and you look at the starting 5 for these Nuggets, it's without a doubt one of the most athletic teams in the NBA. And it's going to be a fun game to watch. with all these little matchups. You mentioned Ty Lawson and Jeremy Lin, Andre Iguodala versus Chandler Parsons, and then the one that I'm personally looking forward to is JaVale McGee versus Omer Asik. JaVale isn't exactly going to be their number one option, but he's such an athletic freak that it will be really fun to watch him and Omer go back and forth,
Go at it on the boards.
Yeah, on the boards, exactly. It's going to be something truly fun to watch.
Yeah.
Give me a score prediction.
I'll say 108-102 Rockets.
All right, I'm going to go 115-103 Nuggets. I don't think the Rockets can pull that one out.
We got the Debbie Downer over here. All right.
All right, join us next Sunday for episode 3.